Jagrata, Jai Masters. Eventually, when you become quiet and clear enough, you realize the whole thing that seems so complicated, life, spirituality, everything, can all boil down to two words. And your branch off those two words determines your entire life. Those two words are open and closed. So open and closed are everything. You think you want to get married, you think you want to have a house, you think you want a career. Open and closed is everything. It's as simple as if you close your blinds, it's dark in your house. If you open the blinds, there's sunlight. You don't have to make there be sunlight. There is sunlight. You just have to not lower the blinds that block the sunlight. It is exactly the same inside of you, and I mean exactly the same inside of you. What you feel as joy, as love, as enthusiasm, as passion, just the nectar of life, just being filled with it, is because you are open. That is the natural light that shines inside of you. It is always there. In the midst of your darkest depression, that is there, just sitting right there, the same as the sun and the light is sitting outside. No matter how dark you close your blinds, no matter you put black curtains over them, it doesn't matter. You're not changing the reality, which is there's pure light outside. The fact that you have closed yourself off from it is another issue. So inside, you have blinds. You have the ability to open and close. When you are open, you feel the love, you feel the joy, you feel the enthusiasm, you feel the excitement. You're on, you're sharp, you're in the zone, call it whatever you want. That is what it feels like to be open. When you close, it's dark. You feel dry, you feel lost, you feel heavy. Life is not fun. Life is a burden. It's overwhelming. It's unbelievable. That is the difference between open and closed. Believe it or not, that difference is not about what's happening outside of you. The difference is about what's happening inside of you. Because your light is inside. If you close off to it, you're not going to feel it. If you open to it, you're going to feel it. Now, I'm going to explain to you that as radical as that may seem or sound, and it may sound philosophical to you, it's not. It's the absolute truth, and you know it. You've known it every day of your life. You didn't need me to tell it to you. What do you mean? You have noticed, without realizing it, but you've noticed it, that when certain things happen outside, they cause you to open. You feel open. You feel love. You feel safe, whatever word you want to use. Certain people, certain places, certain things, when they happen, this openness takes place inside. And if I ask you to describe what it feels like, you're going to tell me, I felt love. I just felt this joy. You can tell me I felt excitement. They told me I could get that job. I got into the school I wanted. All right? And you just get all of this juice, don't you? The juice does not come from what happened. The juice comes because you opened by what happened. If you got into a particular school that you wanted to get into, and that was the one you wanted, and your parents wanted you to go somewhere else, or you were afraid you have to go somewhere else, my God, you're feeling tremendous juice. If that exact school you got into, but you didn't want to go, your parents wanted you to go to that school, but it's the last school you wanted to go to, and you got in and didn't get into the other ones, you're depressed. It closes you. You get all upset. It is not the event that carries the energy. It is the openness that happens to you because of the event that allows you to open. And when you open, you feel love, you feel joy, you feel enthusiasm, you feel excitement. And of course you love that. And then you make the decision to say, I love the school, I love this person, I love this job, I love that thing. If you say that, you're dead. Why? Because what it is that is happening outside will never stay, nor will your liking it stay. The more you get it, the less you care about it. It's called the law of diminishing returns. It's an economics law, all right? If they teach it to you in school, all right? The more you get it, the less you like it. That's just the way it goes. You get used to it. It doesn't ring your bell anymore. That's what you mean by ring my bell, turn you on. It means it causes you to open, all right? Now I'm going to explain later on why certain things cause you to open and they close somebody else. Or they turned you on 2 weeks ago and now they turn you off. Happens that way, doesn't it? Okay? It's understandable. But the important part to understand is that that's what's happening. It has nothing to do with really the energy about the outside event. It has to do with the fact that some outside events, when they come in, cause you to do this thing called open. And when you're open, the light comes in. The light is yours. The light is yours. It is not true that this person is causing you to feel love. Have them say one word that you don't like. I'll bet you don't feel love. Have them dance a little too close with somebody else. I bet you don't feel love. That person is not carrying the love bug. It is you that is doing this. You are opening. You are allowing yourself to open. And when you open, this energy, the sun inside of you, shines through. And you experience it because you're open. But when you close, then your consciousness cannot experience that because there's a blind in between, the closing. So the first thing to understand is it has nothing to do with the outside world. I know it seems like it does. I admit that it seems like it does. I admit that when certain things happen, they cause you to open and you get all excited and you really like it. Right? You understand when you walk through a museum and you're looking at different paintings or artwork, one of you can't get past one piece. It just blows you away. The other person wouldn't stand near it for all the money in the world. It is you that is doing this. It is not the art. You say, I'm very open to modern art. Somebody else says, no, I don't like it. I'm very close to that. I like Impressionist. All right? The key word is I like, I don't like. You think that it's making you like it. No, it's because you like it that you're feeling the energy. Because when you like something, you open, don't you? And when you don't like something, you close. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. All right? Oh, God, I like her. I hope she pays attention to me. All of a sudden, she looks at you. You melt. She caused me to melt. No, you caused you to melt. If you had said, oh, my gosh, she looks just like Lazarus, just like my sisters, right? And God, I did not get along with my sister. I bet she's just like my sister. Hope she doesn't notice me. Have I exaggerated one iota? Pay attention. That's what's going on, but nobody will tell you that. What is going on is you are setting up the conditions in which you will open and the conditions in which you will close. You do it all the time. I don't like this. I like this. I hope this happens. I hope that doesn't happen. What are you doing? You are programming yourself to react to the event in that way. I would never be able to handle that. If it ever happened, I would die. Oh my God, that would be the worst thing that ever happened to me. If you even think that it might happen, if it even smells like it might start happening, you freak. And all you would have to do is say, God, I hope that happens. That would be the most exciting thing. I wonder if I can handle it. I can't wait to see. All right? Then it starts to happen. Whoa, you're a warrior. You're ready to go. You are doing this. They won't tell you that, will they? You're doing this. And the evidence is there every single time. If you get what you said you wanted, you open up, don't you? You feel safe. Right? Here, will you let this person close to you? Well, I don't know. I got hurt last time. He or she says just the right thing. It's just the right time and handles you just right. And all of a sudden, you feel safer, don't you? And what do you mean I feel safe? I feel safe opening in their presence. And when you open, you will feel love, period. And all they have to do is wear the wrong clothes, say the wrong thing, be 5 minutes late, not bring the right colored flowers that you like, whatever the heck it is. And all of a sudden, we're not so open, are we? You are in there. It is your heart. It is your mind. That mind can be open and receptive, in which case you are enthused, attracted, interested in things. That mind can be closed and not receptive, in which case it's boring. You sit in a class, the teacher's teaching something. One student is sitting there totally enthralled in what's being said. They want to take down every single note. The other person, oh, let's be over. You did it. If you're not interested in what's going on, if your mind is closed to it, it's boring, it's terrible. And it's the same thing with your heart. If you feel safe, if you feel interested, if you feel open, then your heart opens and then you feel love. But it is that act of opening that causes love. It is not the event that is taking place outside. But it doesn't look that way. It looks like the event is making it happen. Now, because you look at it wrong, and that's the whole key right there. If you think the event, the person, place, or thing is making this happen, then you will devote your life to trying to make that stay, to trying to get that, to trying to keep that, to trying to possess that, to build your life around that, because you believe that this is the thing that made this happen inside of me. If you understand that your openness is dependent upon whether you're open or not, what it is you decided you liked or what you wanted. And then all of a sudden it happened and then you open. If you understand you're doing this, then you start working on yourself instead of working on everybody else. You start realizing, boy, it's nice when I open. God, do I feel a lot of love. Isn't that beautiful? I think I'll learn to open. Instead of I think I'll do everything I can to keep this situation the way that it is. You understand that? Do you see the difference? That's a worldly life versus a spiritual life. It has nothing to do with what's happening. It has to do with what you're doing about what's happening. So I guarantee you, if you always wanted something ever since you were little and you dreamt of it, but you didn't get to have it and so on, and all of a sudden it showed up in front of you, watch out. Your whole life will turn upside down. You'll go running. I don't care if you're married, you're not married anymore. And if you've got kids, you leave them. Shh. If hat opening happens and you feel all that love and joy, nobody's denying the love and joy and excitement and enthusiasm are beautiful. They are the nectar of life. They are the meaning of life. They are the essence of spirituality. That's not the question. The question is, do you run after and try to manipulate people, places, and things around you so that you can keep yourself open? Or do you practice yoga and the inner work, which is, I'm going to learn to open. I'm going to learn to open. Then by all means, share. Nobody's telling you what to do or not do. But if you're running after things because you think they'll keep you open, good luck. Because they have never, ever kept anybody open. Why? The very fact that you got it means you will get used to it. And the very fact that you start getting close to the job or the person or the kids or whatever it is, they start having their problems. That's just the nature of life. Things have edges. Things have problems. And so when you start to experience that kind of thing, you're not so open. It starts to become more normal, more everyday-ish. It's just real. I know you can make believe it's not happening, but it does. All right? It just is. Now, it doesn't have to happen. No, don't get me wrong. You can stay open all the time. You can have beautiful, beautiful, long-lasting things. Okay? But not if you think that outside object is what is causing me to experience this. Then you're going to have jealousy, insecurity, fear of loss. Of course you do. If I like something a lot and I think that you're the reason that I'm having it, you don't go nowhere without me knowing where you are. You understand that? It creates possessiveness. It creates need, doesn't it? By definition, it creates need. Why do we feel need? Guys, there is no need. You're carrying inside of you everything. It is the fact that you close that you don't experience it. But because you close and you don't experience it, and certain things outside help you to open, then you need those things. I need this person to feel love. I need this situation to feel secure. I need this to be right, and I need that not to happen. In essence, what you're saying is that makes me close, that makes me open, therefore I need that to happen, I don't need that to happen. Okay? There are no needs. There are no psychological, none. There are no psychological needs. Don't you dare let them tell you that. All right? You are whole and complete within yourself. If you close the blinds, there are a lot of needs. You need lights, you need electricity, you need someone to turn them on, you need something to do. All kinds of stuff needs to happen because you're living in the darkness. You open those blinds, there's light pouring in all the time. You're whole, you're complete. There it is. So that is what you need to understand about what's going on inside of you and your relationship to the outside world. You are the source of the love. Not anybody else, not anything else. You are the source of the enthusiasm for your job, not your job. That which turned you on when they first gave it to you, it doesn't keep turning you on because you get used to it. And so that whatever it is that made it open, right? Here, I got this job now. Everybody's looking at me. They're all jealous. Oh my God, I got this position. I have this office. I have this name. And okay, fine. So now you're there for a few years, or really a few months. All right. You're there. You got your thing. It's all there and nobody's looking at you anymore and you're not feeling anything. So what now? We got to get it again. That's need. Need means I don't know what the heck's going on in here, so I need something outside of me to open me so that I can feel enthused and love. A wise person understands that is an absurd way to live your life. You will go out there running after people, place, and things your entire life, trying to find what it is that will open you, instead of doing the work inside of yourself of opening you. And if you cling to those things outside, they will destroy you. They will destroy you. That doesn't mean there can't be beautiful jobs and beautiful relationships, but that's not how they happen. All right? That is laying the groundwork for destruction because you become dependent and you have dreams and hopes. These are terrible things. Oh, what are dreams and hopes? You think dreams and hopes are spiritual. They are not spiritual. They're spiritual compared to depression. All right, I give that to you. If you're going to be depressed and instead you have dreams and hopes, by all means have dreams and hopes. But you want to come out here and talk about spirituality, right? What are dreams and hopes? I'm closed. I'm not okay. I'm hoping and dreaming that something will happen in the future that will open me. Isn't it? So what are your hopes and dreams? They're admitting that you're not okay. They're admitting that you're hoping something will happen later. I'm dreaming of something that could happen later that will make me open and let me feel love. I'm dreaming of Mr. Right. I'm dreaming of Miss Right. I'm dreaming of my soulmate. Why? Because I'm closed and nothing yet has opened me. And there's this thing called a soulmate out there. They told me there was. Well, you better start looking because there's 7.5 billion people out there. So if you go out there and you believe that that's what's going on, you just built your house on top of sand because it's not what's going on. If you believe that I'm in here, somebody comes into your house and they're really, really nice to you and they convince you, or maybe they even pull on the blinds and, oh my God, this light comes in. All right. But when they leave, they have to leave. They let go, right? You're going to start to think that they're the source of light. You're going to start to need them. Do you understand that? Because the only time you can feel light is when they pull the blinds open. So you have to keep them over there. You have to get them over. You think they're God itself, for God's sakes. When the reality is a wise person wakes up and realizes, this is my world in here. That's what it means to wake up. This is my world in here. If it is not okay in here, I did it. If the blinds are closed, I closed them. If something makes them open, it's because I said it's okay that they open in the presence of this person. You're doing this. You are set in the conditions psychologically in which you think this will make, if you think something will make you open, it will. You know the story I used to tell? All right. This isn't a true story. It's not a true story. I'm making this up. I don't want anybody getting greedy, all right? So there's a headline in New York of the Gainesville Sun tomorrow, all right? Rare 1943 Denver print penny was rumored to be circulating in the area. It's worth $6 million. Okay? What do you want to bet when you get your change from Publix? You're looking at the pennies. What do you want to bet? You never looked at the pennies before. Now you're looking at the pennies. All right? And what do you want to bet? If you look at one and it says 1943, your heart is going to, oh my God. And then you see it's P, Philadelphia. Oh, just, you get depressed. Pennies never did that before. All of a sudden it does that. Can you see I could carry that story on, couldn't I? All right? It's your mind, because your mind said, this is going to ring my bell. This is going to do it for me. And before, you didn't even have that issue in your mind. That is true of everything. Will you please believe me? So a wise person doesn't fall into the folly of thinking that the outside world is responsible for their opening. They take that ownership themselves. That onus is on themselves. This is my heart. This is my mind. If what I'm doing with my mind makes it conditional, so only the exact right thing will open me, maybe I need to learn to not do that. Maybe I learn to be more open, be more receptive, learn to work with my mind so that it says, boy, I like him, boy, I like her, boy, I like that, boy, I like that. I used to not like the rain, now I love it. I used to not like the wind, now I love it. I used to not like hot. I love sweating. Oh my God, it's so much fun, right? It's really neat. My pores are cleaning out, right? I used to not like the cold. I love the cold. It's so brisk. What if you just loved everything? You can start with the weather, by the way. Who said you can't love the weather? Watch. But I don't. But I don't. That's right. You just keep telling yourself you don't. It's called affirmation. But I don't like the heat. Never did. I don't like the here, affirmation, affirmation, affirmation. Just change your mind. You change your mind anytime you have you ever changed your mind? You change your mind anytime you want. The trouble is you don't change your mind. It changes by itself. It changes its mind. I thought you didn't like motorcycle cars. Yeah, but I was wrong. I hadn't met this one yet. And believe me, you'll change your mind again very shortly. Okay, the mind changes. It changes because something makes you open. And when you open, all of a sudden, life is beautiful. It's great for whatever reason. So you wake up and you realize what is going on. And I told you what's going on. That is, the outside world is coming in. It is hitting your preference system, your whole psychological system of likes and dislikes and preferences and fears and hopes and dreams. That whole thing you built in there over the course of your life based on your past experiences. It comes in, it hits that, and based upon how it hits that, You either open or close. That's all. I guarantee if it hits something inside of you that goes, oh my God, this is so scary, you're not going to feel open. You're going to feel closed. And if it hits something, wow, I never saw anything like that before. That's really exciting and interesting. I hope then you're going to open. So it is you that's doing it. And so a wise person wakes up, and let's talk about for a moment before we wake up what a normal person does. They don't pay attention to this. They just go running out after every single thing that opens them and running away from everything that closes them. And that's how they determine their life. Right? There are people literally who are taught spiritually. Right? We had a young man a couple of weeks ago who asked me that question, that are taught, well, you're supposed to follow that which opens you and move away from that which closes you. Who taught you that? That's absurd. That's basically saying I'm stuck inside myself and that I'll let it steer. I'll let the things that close me steer me, and I'll let the things that I happen to convince myself I want steer me. And all of a sudden your life is steered by the lowest part of your being. If you are closed, you don't want to run after that which opens you, because all it's doing is stimulating what closed you. There's a reason you closed. And this event outside is either hitting the reason you closed and closing you, or not hitting the reason you closed and you feel much better about it. So underneath opening and closing, these things called some scars I talk to you people about. So now let's talk about what causes opening and closing. How you like that? Can we do that? It's not complicated. It is not in your DNA. It's not. Okay? I'm sorry. But I like the same things my mother likes. You grew up with the ladies. She put the impressions on you. You understand that? I don't like anything my mother likes. You grew up with a lady. She put the impressions on you. It's like a voodoo thing, all right? So what does it mean? Why do I open and close? Why do I open and close? Why do I open and close? We already see how important that is. If I open, then you go running after it. It determines your entire life, the quality of your life, who you're with and where you're going and where you live. Everything, the whole direction of your life can change in a moment because you opened, all right, and closed. I don't want to be living with him anymore. I don't want to do it. I already did. He said this. All right, I'm getting divorced and getting out. Whoa. What did he say? Boo. It's what he didn't say. Okay, this is very interesting. All right, it doesn't take much to close you, and if you're a normal person, don't you dare be a normal person. If it closes you, you run. And if it opens you, you run. You run toward and you run away. And you have no intent in your life. You have no compass. You have nothing. You're just running away from yourself and running towards yourself. You're the one who opened. You understand that? So if you run after somebody or something because you felt open, you did it. So you're running for, I don't know. All right, let's do it this way. Why do I open and close? And I don't know any one of you. I don't even want to know you. I can guarantee I know why you open and close. It is not complicated. You have had past experiences. Did I get that right? Okay, thought I did. You've had past experiences. And some of those experiences were pleasant. And some of those experiences were very much not pleasant. I guarantee you that the ones that were not pleasant, you suppressed. Typical Freudian stuff. You didn't want to experience it. You pushed it away inside of you. You did whatever you needed to get over it. I like the word get over it. See, you think getting over it is a great state. No. Letting it go is a great state. Getting over it means it's still there, underneath you. Look at our words. Aren't they neat? Right? I got over it. I worked that through, all right? Okay. It means basically I rationalized it, I suppressed it, I did a thing, so now I'm okay. It's still in there. How do you know? It comes up. It gets hit every once in a while. Can you talk about the subject nicely? No, I can't talk about it. Come on, there's subjects in there we start talking about, you start crying, don't you? Or start freaking out or getting angry okay? This stuff's still in there. That's all you need to see. This is so important. It's so deep. So when you store the stuff inside, it carries all of its energy of the event. So if it was uncomfortable, you have uncomfortableness stored inside of you. If anything happens that reminds you of that, abstractly or directly, it doesn't matter. It could be anything. It could be that your father died from smoking, and somebody, your boyfriend you just fell in love with, oh my God, your heart's so open, is going to take you on this special trip to the Smoky Mountains. That's the end of that relationship. That's all it would take. You understand that? You got enough stuff going on in there. The word itself triggers it, doesn't it? Come on, you live in there. Doesn't take much, does it? Something looks like your mother used to look at you. Trouble is, he's a man. He doesn't look at you like your mother used to look at you, right? You just have the way your mother used to look at you stored inside. And so now when an event takes place outside, even abstractly, like I said, anything, it's free association world, all right? All of a sudden it hits that thing. And so what comes up is the discomfort that thing was stored with. And guess what? When it comes up with that discomfort, you don't like the thing that made it come up, by definition. No matter what it is, somebody else thinks it's neat. Somebody else, maybe last week you would have thought it was neat, but now it hits something inside of you that's uncomfortable. You don't know that. It's not like you're rationally watching all it. That's why it's suppressed. That's why it's in the subconscious, whatever word you want to call it. You're not consciously aware. Oh, look, there he is relating to my mother. Isn't this silly? I hope you are. I'll teach you to be. You should be. It's called witness consciousness. But people are not. So this goes on inside, and all you know is he said something, and I'm not comfortable. He didn't say something, and I'm not comfortable. He sneezed while I was telling him how much I loved him. OMG. Totally unacceptable. All right? His eyes wandered. I could see they shifted. All right? When I was saying something really important. Well, that's it for him. Isn't it? Okay? Especially if your father's eyes used to shift when you were trying to talk to him. Those shifty eyes, watch them. It left impressions inside of you. It's not your fault. It left impressions inside. And so now as the world unfolds in front of you, it hits the impressions. That's the way the psyche works. It hits the impressions. If they were negative impressions, and almost all of them are, and I'll explain to you in a moment why, you're not a negative person. You know darn well you got more negativity inside. You have more experience that were uncomfortable than comfortable inside of you. More things freaked you out than turned you on. And I'm going to explain to you why. You're not negative. It's absolutely normal that it be that way, but you better do something about it. So now if you store these uncomfortable things inside, the world is going to unfold in front of you, and you're going to feel uncomfortable lots of time, don't you? You can feel scared, feel insecure, feel self-conscious, feel embarrassed, feel this, feel that, whatever it is. It doesn't take much, does it, for it to get weird in there? Okay? It just gets weird in there. And you don't like that, so you try to do something outside that will make it feel better. So you just let the lowest part of your being, we trace it all the way back. What do you mean the lowest part of my being? The part that you couldn't handle when you were 6 got stored inside of you. Now something happened outside. It hit that, and now it came up. You feel uncomfortable, and so now you're leaving your wife. You're doing this. You're running off with something else. You're changing jobs. The event is driving you to your behavior patterns because of the lowest thing inside of you, this garbage you stored inside. The same thing happens with positive impressions. But you don't like when I talk about those. Why? Because you like when they get hit. And it's the only high you get now, right? Because you're so closed that if somebody opens the windows, wow, that was great. Trouble is they didn't stay open, did they? I want them to stay open. It's not that I want to take away your open. It's not about renunciation in any way, shape, or form. It's about right understanding about what's going on. So what do positive impressions do? You had a relationship when you were young, and it was really beautiful, and your heart opened for the first time, right? And you got along really well. And I like to tell the story that his parents moved before you had your first fight. Well, that's really dangerous, okay? Because now you have an impression sitting inside of you that's rather interesting, like all nice. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. You're in just as much trouble as if it was a bad impression. Why? Because you're going to judge every single thing from that moment forward based on that. Every person you go out with, everything you deal with, it's going to be held against this. Is it making you feel as good? Do you feel as safe? So you just ruined your life, right? Because you can't have a new experience because you're busy comparing the experience off of the past experiences. So whether it's a negative past experience or a positive past experience, you're not able to be open to the moment. You only open based upon what opened you before. Hey, you want to go to Hawaii? I'm going to take you to Hawaii, darling. Right? Wow, last time I was in Hawaii, I went with my parents. It was so beautiful. I can't wait. Thank you so much, right? I can take you to Hawaii. I thought you liked me. When I went to Hawaii, last time I was in Hawaii, it rained all the time. There were roaches in the hotel room. That thing's so oversold. Whoa. Hawaii's neither of those things. You got that straight? Hawaii has moments everywhere all the time. Your little stupid impression that you had for 10 seconds some years ago should not be governing Hawaii, should it? Come on, how little was that experience compared to the reality of the islands of Hawaii that had been there for a long time, and you visited once, 10 years ago, for a few days. But I'm telling you what I said is going to happen, isn't it? If that was a bad experience, that's what's coming up. Do you see what I'm telling you? This is deep. That's what's deciding whether you open or close. Your past experiences, the impressions that got left on you. So what's wrong with that? Everything. You can't experience the reality of what's unfolding in front of you. You can only experience it in relationship to what impressions got left inside of you, which are pretty much meaningless. At the same time you were having any given impression, how many other things were going on in the universe? 700 billion zillion. So why was the one impression you were having more important than all the 700 billion zillion you weren't experiencing? It isn't more important. But to you, it's the most important thing in the whole universe. Why? It's the one you stored inside of you. And that's where it all comes from. All right? So that if you feel burning desires inside of you, it's because you've had let's talk about desire. No one will talk about desire. What is desire? Desire is, I am not open. What do you mean? Who said desire is not open? When you're open, you're not desiring anything. If you just met somebody and you're madly in love, and I said, would you like to meet somebody? No. Would you like to go out on a romantic love mode with the blood? No. I already feel what I want to feel. Right? When you're whole and complete and you're filled with enthusiasm and joy, their desire is the farthest thing in the world from anything you would ever think about. You understand that? You already have what it is that everybody else desires. Okay, so does the foundation, I've never talked to you about this, the foundation of desire is closed. When you are closed, you do not feel the light. You want to feel the light, you should want to feel the light. There's nothing wrong with that. Master used to say, spirit loves spirit. That's a natural thing. You want to be high. See, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay? You want to feel high. You want to feel love. You want to feel joy. You want to feel light. You want to feel enthused. You want a job that when you wake up in the morning, you can't wait to get there. And then all day you're excited and you love what you're doing. And when you come home, you love coming home. That's life, man, isn't it? That's the high life. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to experience high. The trouble is when you don't experience high and you want to experience high, you have to make up what you think will have to happen for you to be high. Well, when I traveled around Europe when I was in high school and everything, I really was the most open time of my life. I want to travel around Europe. Holy mackerel, you're 43 years old. You were 18, 17. And believe me, it's not going to be the same. But to you it is, isn't it? Come on. Admit it, all right? You have that impression inside of you. And so therefore, when you're not feeling open, you portray this, and it's always based on your past experiences, not a single thing you're cleanly deciding for yourself, right? It is always these past impressions and how they make you feel, all right? And so basically you decide, if I have this, it'll be okay, but you don't have it, and that's a desire. I don't have it. It will make me feel good. It's what I need. Therefore, I don't put some serious energy into getting this thing. I'm burning with the desire to get this thing. Why? Why would you be burning with the desire to go around Europe? It's just something you experienced in the past. And therefore, you think it's going to make you feel high again. And boy, when that is thought like that and you don't have it, you feel desire. You feel a burning desire. You feel a yearning. And people want to come to me and say, desire is God guiding you. It is not. God guiding you is when you're feeling love and joy and you're completely filled with spirit. Now let's see what happens. Not, I am lacking, I am closed, and I need to find out what will open me, and I think I've decided what it will be, and it's you, so divorce whoever you're with and come and be with me, because I have this deep desire to be with you. Don't romanticize, understand. And it can have tremendous power behind it, because it has all the power of you wanting to be okay. Hey, a drug addict has serious desires for getting the drug. Just leave them off their drug for a couple of days and let's see how big the desire is, period. They will go anywhere to do anything and trade off anything, period. That's God guiding them, is it? No, I don't think so. What it basically is I am not okay. But I told you why you're not okay. You're not because you are okay. You're more than okay. But you're not okay because you close the blinds. And when those blinds are cold, it is closed, it is cold in there, it is dark in there, it is scary in there. Yes or no? All right? And you're lost. It's lost because it's dark. And so what you're trying to do, and it's normal that you would try to do that, is find something, create something, do something, whatever, to make it so that it causes an opening. Okay, that's one way to live your life. It's fine. It's how everyone else lives it. Don't feel funny about it. Okay? And no one, I told you one thing, I do not teach renunciation. I don't even understand how they got so lost to teach renunciation. Because what renunciation says is, I'm closed. This is what I believe will open me and give me the ring and do everything right, but I'm not going to go after it. You understand that? All right, that's not the path. That's not the path. It is not about renunciation, ever. It is about right understanding. It is about realizing I have a mess in here because I'm closed. And my whole psyche is built on top of this closed. All what I like and what I don't like and what I need and what I don't need and what I fear and what I desire is all built upon the fact I'm closed. How do you know that? Wait till you reach the point, and I pray that you will, where you're not closed anymore. Ever. Not only are the blinds open, you took them off the windowsills. They're not even there. They don't close. Ever. Right? No desire, no fear. Of what? What you fear is that something will close you and you will get hurt. What you desire is that something will open you and you will feel good. What if you're already feeling good? What if you're feeling wonderful? What if you feel love all the time? What if you feel inspired by anything that happens to you? This job, that job, this task, that task, dishes, doesn't matter. It turns you on. It just turns you on to do it. You get to do it. You get to express the beauty that's inside of you. That's what it means to do the dishes. I get to do them? Oh boy, oh boy. And you play with how much soap, look at the soap is fun. And every single time you do it, you're having fun. You're enjoying it. Why not? You're doing it anyways. That's what it means to be open. All right? There will not be any desire. What would you desire? You already have everything you ever wanted going on inside of you. It's called fulfillment. So don't think contentment is a boring state. That people just misunderstand everything. He's a Buddhist. He's in a deep state of meditation. He's completely contented. He reached the state of deep contentment. Poor guy is missing life. He's not missing anything. He's learned how to get that what you're trying to get. It's going on all the time inside, right? Are you really losing out if you're so filled with love you can't see straight, but you happen to be sitting in a room by yourself? No, you're the luckiest person ever lived. Nothing will ever disappoint you. It'll never go away. Doesn't mean you don't come out and share it. Nobody's saying it's, life's an interactive sport. But if you're going out there because you're not okay and you're trying to get things and do things and take things and avoid things so that something can change inside of you, you're a mess. You're like everybody else. That's what everybody's doing. That's why the world's at war. That's why there's all this stuff. Have you noticed that everybody needs it to be the way they want, including you? And how many people agree with you? Not so many. So you end up with this total mess because everybody's out there not okay, trying to turn themselves on by getting what they want and avoiding what they don't want by manipulating and controlling the world around them. So spirituality says there's another way to do this. And it's really much more simple, much more simple. Don't close. Now, that's very subtle. Notice I didn't say open, because you wouldn't know how to open for all the money in the world. You wouldn't have the slightest idea. Do you understand that? Not one of you have the slightest idea how to open your heart. But you know what you do know how to do? Close it. Don't you? You do it all the time. Somebody says one word. You defend yourself. You protect yourself. You close it down. Do you understand that? You know how to close that heart, don't you? So it's two sides of the coin. One is opening, and the other is not closing. So I don't teach opening. I don't teach go out and find something that opens you. Do something. No. Right? I just want you as you go through your normal life, just your normal life, everyday life. Don't change a thing. Just as you go through your normal everyday life, I would like you to watch how often you close. How often you get on. Here, somebody shows up to take you out on a date and he's wearing a bow tie. Wait till you open that door and see that bow tie for the first time. Okay? It's like, bam! It's just closed. You're closed. The bow tie did not close you. You closed you. Your mind said, oh my God, a bow tie, right? And your mind closed your heart. You didn't have to do that. So your sadhana, your spiritual practice, becomes don't close. What does that mean? It means just what it says. It means somebody shows up with a bow tie, you see the tendency to close, right there you say, do I want to close or not? I was feeling really good and excited about going out with this person. I've been all day. I talked to my friends. I was so excited. I got dressed. The thing was excited. You're going to let a bow tie take away your love and take away your excitement. And yeah, no. If you let a bow tie take it away, then you're going to let the rain take it away. You let the heat take it away. You let the fact that they served the dinner wasn't exactly the way you wanted it, take it away. You want the fact that he didn't open the door for you. You want the fact that he did open the door for you, and I'm liberated, right? It's like you'll let everything do it. It doesn't take much, does it? And I'm telling you, your path is to say, I'm not going to close. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to close. Since opening is the beautiful state, and that's what will give you the beautiful life and help everybody around you too, because you're not taking from them and manipulating them. You're just sharing your beauty with them. Then I'm telling you, your spiritual practice is learning to not close. Don't worry about opening. There are going to be things that open you. There are going to be moments that you're open. Right? Fine. Appreciate those. Respect those. I'm not telling you to get rid of those, but I'm telling you to not close. How come when somebody's really nice to you and you feel open, you get an A on a test and you feel open, or something happens, good thing, somebody gets elected that you wanted, all kinds of things happen. Doesn't happen very often. But anyways, these things happen, all right? And you feel open, right? Then why is that not the end of it? I'm open. Oh boy, I'm open for the rest of my life. You must close. There's something changed that state from open to closed, didn't it? You did. So I'm begging you that when you feel some openness, whatever it is, watch the tendency to close, and I'm begging you to do something about that. Now, what do you do about that? There are lots of things you can do. There are lots of spiritual practices. I don't feel I need to teach you spiritual practices. There are so many. It's like a smorgasbord. And they all fine. They'll work, The question is, are you going to do them? That's the question. So what do? I learned early in the game to condition my mind through meditation, through mantra, through different things, to where I'm present. So at least I can watch the tendency to close. I don't want to feel wonderful and then all of a sudden feel terrible and not know what happened. There shouldn't be any moods. You know what the mood should be? Ecstasy. You should just feel joy and love all the time and no change, none, ever. It's a constant state of well-being. If you don't close, that's what happens. The sun shines all the time. Don't tell me the blinds have to open and close because the sun gets tired. There's nothing. Don't let them give you this dualistic stuff. You can't experience high unless you experience low. That is not true. The sun is shining all the time. You open your blinds, it's shining all the time. That's it. And the truth of the matter is, even at night, the sun is shining exactly the same out there in the sky. It doesn't get tired. It's been doing it for 5 billion years. It's doing it for 5 billion. I wouldn't worry about it. So it's the same thing inside yourself. There is infinite light, unlimited, period. You have no idea. You're a beautiful being, a being of God, a being of spirit, a being of grace. And there's all this light inside of you, but you close. So if you have the honor of opening some, then your job is to be conscious enough to not throw that away, to not give that away. I was thinking the other day, I gave a talk at a wedding, actually, and I didn't give this part of the talk because it was a short thing. But I thought, okay, here you are, these people are in love, they're getting married, it's very beautiful, and something's going to happen. Like he's going to do something or she's going to do something, and you're going to close. It's just inevitable. Right? Something's going to happen, and you're going to close that heart. Or you don't understand. When you close that heart, it's not so easy to get it back open. If he pulls the blankets off at night, right, and you're cold and you wake up, and your mind says, God, if he loved me, he wouldn't pull the blankets off. He pulls the blankets off every night. Go on, just do that. Go on. I guarantee you will never, ever feel as much love for that person as you did before you did that. Because you just learned to close to them. And it's not a game. When you learn to close, next thing you know, he slurps the soup. Next thing you know, he leaves the cap off the toothpaste. We got a list. And that list builds, doesn't it? And every single item on that list closes your heart. And when you close your heart, you don't feel love. And all of a sudden, you don't feel love. And next thing you know, you're telling your friend, I like him, but I don't love him like I used to. I don't know what happened to him. No, it isn't what happened to him. It's what you did. You understand that? It's your heart. You want to keep it open? Keep it open. Don't tell them to put the cap on the toothpaste. Don't tell them not to pull the blanket off. We can talk about things, but in general, you just decide, I'm not closing my heart. Because if you close your heart, you won't feel love. Does everybody understand that? It's your responsibility. So what I was thinking, and I didn't use the analogy before, right? I was thinking, okay, you're driving around in the car, and your spouse or your significant person says something to you that hurts you a little bit. And it wasn't comfortable, all right? And so you close. That's what you do when things are not comfortable, don't you? All right? You close. When you close, you just gave up the love. You were all excited and giggling in the car before that got said. Now there's this heaviness. Come on, you old been there. There's this heaviness in the car because you closed your heart. You gave up something precious, didn't you? Come on, that's the preciousness of life. is love, joy, enthusiasm, play. Let's say you had saved $1 million over 10, 20 years for your retirement, and somebody said to you something that hurt you. Would you take $1 million in cash and throw it out the window because they said something like that? Which one of you would do that? You just threw something more valuable than the $1 million out the window. The only thing the $1 million is for is it might be able to buy you something that made you feel good, right? You just threw away feeling good. You're just not paying attention, all right? Love, joy, enthusiasm are the most precious thing in life, right? You have a job. It turns you on until the boss criticizes you. You closed, didn't you? I used to like this before that idiot came in here and told me he didn't like what I did. You are the idiot. You're the one who threw away enthusiasm. You threw away love. You threw away joy. You threw away the nectar of life because somebody criticized you. Give me a break. Again, would you take $1 million of all of your savings and just throw it out the window from the top of the Empire State Building because your boss criticized you? No. There's not a chance in the world you would do that. You don't even know why I'm comparing that, right? Because you just threw away something more valuable than $1 million when you closed your heart. And so you start catching on that you have responsibility. You want to feel love? Don't close your heart. You want to feel joy? Don't close your heart. You want to feel enthusiasm? Don't close your heart. Ever. Now, you're not going to be able to do it ever, but let's just start with, you can eventually, but let's start doing the simple things. Don't close your heart over the weather. God, I was happy till I was this humid. I can't handle this. What are you doing? You just closed your heart over weather. Don't close your heart because you got a scratch on your car. Come here, look at it. I don't see it. Go look. Oh, I see. The sun has to hit a certain way. Yeah, it bugged me, man. I'm so proud of you. You just gave away everything for nothing. Stop it. So that becomes your spiritual path. That's a very high spiritual path. Do you understand that? Don't close your heart. Now, the trouble is you're not going to be able to do it. Why? Because you won't notice until you did it, till you're closed. You understand that? You'll be open, and then something will happen, you'll close, and then you'll come back, and you'll say, wow, right? You know, the Beatles song, right? Here comes the sun, right? It's been a long, cold, lonely winter. In other words, I'm opening up. It's starting to shine again. You'll come back, and you'll realize you're closed. And maybe a year later, a couple of years later. No. Do what you need to do to become conscious enough so that when the event happens, you notice that the heart is starting to close. And then do something about it. What? Okay, I've taught you this. It's almost like techniques. I tell you I don't give techniques, okay? One, the lowest level, but it's fine, is use thoughts to offset the thoughts. So, for example, he pulls the blankets off, okay? You wake up, it's cold. And the thoughts go, what's the right time to sleep with that blanket? And all of a sudden you start saying, it's so nice to have a man around the house. That was a song from South Pacific or something, all right? And so you sit there and say nice things like, do I really want to be by myself? Isn't it nice to know there's somebody else, close enough to me to pull the blankets off? I don't know, right? Do not let your heart close. So that's using positive thinking. That falls under the category of positive thinking. You're all taught positive thinking. It's fine. It's believe me, there's much higher ways to deal with it. But positive thinking, as opposed to closing, if what's happening, it's closing, but I can stick my foot in the door, that's better than letting it close. So positive thinking is using your will, but first you have to be present and to be conscious enough to notice, here she goes again, all right? And do something to neutralize the mind, to put something more constructive or positive in there, so at least it doesn't close as much. And then what happens is, if you do close some, but not as much, it'll start to open back up sooner because you didn't close as much. You understand that? The moment, and I mean the millisecond, that you see it start to open up again, right? Don't sit there and defend yourself for closing. Don't sit there and blame the person because why'd they have to be like that? I told them that. No. The moment it starts to open, say, hi, welcome back. You're so well. Just be positive, open. So stay open longer, right? Don't close as deep and then come back as soon as possible. It's a game. Like video games, and you sit there and play a video game with yourself. Just make it the most fun in the world. It's not called Pac-Man, right? It's not called, what's it called? Grand Theft Auto. This is Grand Open Heart. or Grand No Clothes. And you just sit there and make a game out of it, all right? I swear it is so much fun. And the rewards are phenomenal. You get an instant reward. right? If you go and buy something, maybe it'll turn you on tomorrow, maybe it won't. If you don't close, you are by definition turned on more than you would have been if you closed. So this is called raising yourself. So one is first you have to become conscious. That's what meditation's about. That's what mantra's about. That's what all these different things are about, which is I'm here and I'm noticing what the mind is doing. Well, that's very intelligent. When I drive my car, I notice which way I'm going. How about you? I don't just all of a sudden let go of the wheel and jump in the back seat and try to see what one of them be okay now. Not one of you have ever done that when you're driving the car 60 miles an hour down an expressway. Have you? Well, why do you just let your mind do whatever it does? No one's watching, no one's paying attention. All of a sudden it's out there blaming somebody for something or thinking about something that happened 10 years ago, getting all depressed, right or wrong, right? Next thing you know, you start watching your mind. It's destroying your life. Be present. That's mindfulness. Be present. And then start to work with yourself. One should raise the self with self. The Gita says that. One should raise the self with self, not trample down the self. You are in there. You have a responsibility to raise yourself, not just give in to these impressions and however they get hit. So one way, I'll just go through quickly, one way is positive thinking. The other way is you get something going in your mind, like a mantra, whatever they call it a mantra, it's called a repetitive thing in your mind, and you shift your consciousness to it off of the thing, the mindset that would have closed you. It's always your mind. Your mind starts thinking negatively. Next thing you know, your heart closes. So if you just do something in there, love, love, love. I tell you, you don't have any other one? I can handle this. I can handle this. Or I'll give it, want the highest mantra? I will never close. I will never close. I will never close. That's really nice. That's a good one. Or you can do Om Namah Shivaya. It's one of the traditional mantras. Whatever you want. There's lots of them floating around there, right? You can do whatever you want. Get it going inside your mind to where when you take a shower, it's going on. When you're talking to somebody, then you stop talking, it's going on. That's kind of neat. Train the mind to say this thing. When I've been chanting a lot of the Sai Baba mantra, right? I just know this is going on in my mind all the time, right? What does that mean? That means when I stop doing whatever I'm doing, I settle back into this neutral thing. I can still see that what would be going on if I wasn't doing that. Sometimes I'll just say, oh, he would be worrying about this or thinking about this or planning that, of which nothing ever happens. 99%, I used to say 95, I've watched more carefully lately, 99% of whatever's going on in your mind never happens. It's thinking about, what if she says this? No, all right, it's thinking about, if only I had said that about a conversation you had 10 years ago. I don't think that's highly meaningful. I'd rather do the mantra. All right. Well, what if when I'm older and my kids put me in a nursing home, like Sally's parents, those people that are complaining with, you're 15 years old and you're doing this with your mind. I'd rather do the mantra. I'd rather have something constructive or neutral going on. Then what happens is somebody says something, somebody does something, and all of a sudden your mind starts getting negative, and you instead shift your consciousness to I'm calling it mantra, to this repetitive thing that you're trained in your mind. And all of a sudden your heart doesn't close. Why? Because it's an open thing. It's just a nicer open thing. And instead of the mind going where it would have gone, all of a sudden the heart doesn't close. So these are techniques that are given to you. So there's positive thinking where you neutralize. There's training yourself to have something nice going on in your mind that you can shift your consciousness to so it doesn't get involved in this meaningless garbage. The vast majority of times you close your heart, you're doing it to yourself. You're literally just thinking about things that happened in the past, thinking something could go wrong. And so you're just making your heart close because of the way you're using your mind. And then the third one I always teach you is the highest. But you won't be able to do it right away. But I'd like you to have it, which is you're in there, you're conscious. The moment the mind starts this noise of going south, all right, just doing its stupid thing, relax. You just relax. Because if you're relaxed, you can't engage. To engage in something, you have to lean into it. You have to be engaged in it. If you relax, you judo, right? If you relax, it falls right past you. If you relax, but it's hard. It's hard when it starts going negative, but you'll learn to do it. You just relax and release. And all of a sudden, the energy, instead of being suppressed or expressed, is released. You didn't get over it, you let it go. And you're going to start to feel this flow of energy releasing up. It just goes up. And it's gone. It's gone. And all of a sudden, that which would have bothered you didn't, and it won't. All right? And then it doesn't leave an impression inside of you, and you start to cleanse. All right? So that's the basics. I wanted to talk about opening and closing. See how important those things are now? They're your whole life. You admit they're your life. They're everything you run after, right? But if you're running after somebody or something because you think it's going to open you, Master used to do that. Yoganandus, he's an interesting guy. He teaches these older people, these classes. A lot of older people came to his classes. And a young couple came once. They were madly in love, and all the older folks were jealous, right? And they talk and thing. And Master once turned to him and said, come back in 5 years, and let's see where their love is, and let's see where my love for God is. All right? The love that goes on inside, because you let go of the garbage that's closing you, will never betray you. It will never change. There is no divorce. There are no arguments. There's just love. That's what's called divine love, right? It's pure love. You went to the source of love. It does nothing but get greater and greater as you let go more and more. Versus if it is conditional upon people treating you a certain way, acting a certain way, looking a certain way, you've been around the block, right? It shines for a while, but it doesn't always stay, does it? This love does. But that is the foundation of a beautiful relationship. If you're filled with love, share it. How would you like to be in a relationship with somebody who never closed? No matter what you did, no matter what mood you went through, no matter what you were, they were just right there for you all the time, exactly the same. You just knew that light was shining, and oh boy, that wouldn't be bad, would it? All right? Maybe you'd get that way if you were in a relationship with somebody that way. It's the greatest gift you can give to anybody. But how would you like being in a relationship where somebody's grabbing and needing and pulling? Why weren't you here? I needed you to be here. You left me alone. Oh boy, that's a lot of fun, isn't it? Come on. There. So open. The greatest gift you can give to yourself and give to everybody else around you is learn to stay open. That's your spiritual practice. Don't close. Jagrata.